I ain't have to die to meet the devil. Angels fell and landed in the ghetto. The earth was given to the hands of devils. Then we seen the rise of the devil. We fell for the lies of the devil. When we got high was the devil. I looked into the eyes of the devil. I ain't have to die to meet the devil.
I remember I was only 13 when I met the demon. Gave me a deuce and a bundle of cocaine. Told me to sell to my people, make sure you keep him cleaning. If any try to short you, make sure that you leave him leaking. He said,
I'm gonna hold you down when problems pop up.
how you got me moving this dope? Want me in lockup? He said,
Don't you want the best vertical with the top up?
Yeah.
Stop bitching, get in that kitchen, let it rock up. Bitches love the dope boy, especially when it's pop up. I know you know
who
Rhyme.
the plug from by the block up?
I'll tell you a little secret, make sure that you keep your mouth shut. Rhyme got a Lexus, trip in Philly and Texas. Trips to the Bahamas, just got a whip for his mama. He fucking up the commas, be honest, he seem decent though.
I hear you, but I just seen Ryan about a week ago. Fat, he ain't looking too good. His knees are kind of slow. I asked him why the struggle. He got stuck up for his bundle, but them 6 hollow chips in his legs what made him crumble.
Bitch, he got the house and mama is living good.
Said the fans took it all. He right back in the hood. I see you try to play me. You gave us crack in the 80s. Made us support our babies and making hoes out of ladies. I know you got me gravy, but Satan, you must be crazy. It's gonna take more than cause when it amaze me. I seen niggas shoot for the stars, but being lazy. Never get their head at the clouds, so you don't faze me.
I guarantee that you gon' regret it. Remember I said it.
No, you could dead it.
What you saying? I can't win?
No, devil, nice try. So until we meet again,
I ain't have to die to meet the devil. Angels fell and landed in the ghetto. The earth was given to the hands of devils. Then we seen the rise of the devil. We fell for the lies of the devil. When we got high was the devil. I looked into the eyes of the devil. I ain't have to die to meet the devil. I ain't religious or superstitious, but we been getting fucked and put to the side like a mistress. Police patrol the why because prison became a business. They murder one of ours and they start talking about forgiveness. We think that it's alright because we got public assistance. If this ain't hell, dog, what is this? Where was all lives matter when they killed Osama? There was no peace talk like the Dalai Lama. Bush dropping bombs saying he gon' bring the drama. They got justice, man, they even caught the Boston bomber. But when we ride, they send the military and armor. When we fight oppression, then our people die martyr. You reap what you sow, some people call it karma. But Christ's return, y'all gon' get this harvest like a farmer. Don't tell me don't bring up the past no more. They still trying to set up the score with a Qadash. I changed my life and I'm just trying to live life right. But at night I look behind me and see flashing lights patting me down. You got nothing that's poking me right. I don't smoke or push pills, I keep up my fight. So Mr. Officer, why you wanna take my life? And your honor, why you gave a homeboy's life? I've been wondering why you shot a homeboy twice. Pussy with it, gun screaming after he got a knife. He came from Habibi's spot, it was chicken and rice. Shit's tripe, I'm just giving vision more like Skype. Ask Trayvon, Mike Brown, and Hot Girl, the Eric Garner, Tom Bell, Fernando, Oakland, Sterling, Javon McDonald. The white man is so devilish. Ask Hammurabi, he'll tell you who the devil is. The white man is so devilish. Ask Hammurabi, he'll tell you who the devil is. I ain't have to die to meet the devil. Angels fell and landed in the ghetto. The earth was given to the hands of devils. Then we seen the rise of the devil. Fell for the lies of the devil. When we got high was the devil. I looked into the eyes of the devil. I pray for the demise of the devil. Lord knows I despise every devil. I looked into the eyes of the devil. I said, I pray for God every devil.
Because I'm willing to fight against drug dealers. If they Muslim, if they Christian, if they atheist, if they Buddhist, if that's young black men, guess what? I'm gonna say something about it. Because you know what? Just like you ain't gonna, like your boy said, it ain't gonna happen. Guess what? I'm not letting nobody sell you drugs without me saying nothing. I'm not gonna do it.
My whole life was trying to find something to follow. Had Lord see every man tried to borrow. Hey, Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Barak Thumb to all the brothers. Yahweh Shemal Thumb Bashem Yahushua to all the sisters. I.S.U.P.K Indianapolis Friday Hebrew class. We're going to get it in. Give me 1 second. All right, type in any questions you might have. All right. Let's get it popping. You know, we always start off with the alphabet. I'm gonna make it a little bigger this time. So I'll probably just do one line, erase it, then we'll do another line because I know this board is small. Ba. Ga. Da. Ha. Wa. All right. Wa. Then we're just gonna do Assyrian too, right? We're gonna do the Assyrian too. Just because I know last week everything was kind of jammed up because it was small. We're gonna do Assyrian. All right, so the Assyrian kind of looks like almost damn near like an X. Almost, not really, but that's usually how you know, when people write it, it kind of looks similar to that. All right. And then the Ba to me looks like a hangman. That's how I always remember it. There's a little lip right there. That's the Ba. And Ga. All right, Ga look like that. And Da. Then Ha. Right. Then you got Wa. All right. So on the top is ancient. Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa. And on the bottom is the Assyrian. Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa. All right. So let's erase that. Then we get the next set of them. All right, follow along too. Follow along so you can get better at writing those letters. Right? And so I think we left off with the za. No, we didn't. So we got za. The za is easy. It's just a z. So it's it's kind of tough to forget that one. And you got the ka. The ka to me looks like a ladder. So just remember a ladder and you'll remember the ka. Ta is next, right? And ya. Right? And after ya is ka. All right. So you got ka, then you got ka. All right. Then you got la. Then you got ma. All right. So we're out of space right here. Let's go ahead and run it. I'm just stepping over here to see if anybody on Facebook said anything. All right. So the za in Assyrian, looks almost like a T. Right? It's like a slanted T. And then a ka looks almost like pi symbol. Ta looks like a U with a hook coming in. Ya is like that. Ka looks like that. All right. So then in Assyrian, we get two letters that look different when they're at the end. So ka looks like this when it's in between two letters. When it's at the end of a letter, it looks like that. All right. Then la. Then ma. All right, so ma looks like that when it's in between two letters. When it's at the end of a letter, it looks more like this. All right, so that's za, ka, ta, ya, ka, la, ma. All right, give you a second to write those down. All right, because we ain't gonna spend a whole bunch of time on the alphabet today. We're gonna move on, try to do some sentence breakdowns. All right, where we leave off? We left off at ma, so we need the na. All right, that's na. After the na is the sa. And it's I. Then pa. Taza. Qua. Ra. Man, I still wrote too big. Sha. And then tha. All right. And so the na looks like the na is kind of like that in Assyrian. The sa looks like that. The I looks like a Y. Pa looks like a G, upside down G. right now. It's a little off. To make it look more like a G. Like that. All right. Then Tazah. Looks like that. That's wrong. Tazah looks like that. Then when it's at the end of a word, looks like that. Right. That's like it too. I forgot the na. So the na looks slightly different or different when it's at the end of a word. Right. So that's the na. Actually, it's probably not so long right there. Right. When it's at the end of a word. So this one is at the in between two letters. This one, what it looks like at the end of a word. Right. And so then you got the qua. Qua looks like an unfinished R. And then the Ra looks like that. Sha looks pretty much the same. Right. And then the Tha looks like that. So on the top is the ancient, the bottom is the Assyrian. All right. So that's all the Hebrew letters right there, ancient and Assyrian. You can request the Hebrew alphabet if you need it. If you're serious about learning Hebrew, you gotta start with the alphabet. You can request, put your email in there, and then you can get a copy. Put the email in the chat, then you can get a copy. All right. All right, so now we're gonna get into a little bit, see if we get into some sentence breakdown. Let's get Genesis 3 and 13. This is Genesis 3 and 13. Right? And we're gonna get we're gonna write a piece of it in Hebrew, then we're gonna try to translate it. All right, so what you'll find in ancient Hebrew is you have root words, right? And so you'll have right, because it's written in this, we don't, it's tough to understand. It's like, all right, what is this saying? Right. So many of us already know, right? Many of us already know this, right? If you've been to a Hebrew class at all or watched the Sabbath and you try to follow along, you know that this word is Yahweh, right? That's the Most High's name, Yahweh. So that piece, is easy. But what is this saying? You start reading Hebrew, right? And you may know the letters, but what is it saying? This is a what, right? This is a yeah. This is a ma, and this is a ra. All right. So now we're gonna start breaking it down. When you see, and then two, what you want to do is since we know the scripture we're in, and this is the first part of it. Like if you're following along, you'll see this written in Hebrew, right? These two words written in Hebrew. So if you're following along, you can also look at the English side of it. The English, let's get to English. The first part of Genesis 3 and 13 says, and the Lord God said. And then, like I said, in Hebrew, it has this written out. So now let's see if we can break it down. When you see what, okay, the first thing probably you want to do, if you can't always do it because it's not it just comes with experience, just like with the English language. You know what I mean? There's so many rules and stuff, but sometimes you just know because you have experience speaking the language. Right? When you see the prefix wa, this right here, that means and. That's what wa means in Hebrew. It means and, right? So you read in Genesis 3 and 13, we've translated our first word, right? Genesis 3 and 13 is, and the Most High God said. That's the first part. So we know that we translated the word and. All right. Now we have Yah, right? So we got Yah. Let's see if we can translate that. But before we do that, before we do why, right? Let's look at what the root is. So you got a prefix here, wa, we know that means and. You can look that up, you can find that in the part of speech. This piece, right, we'll come back to. This right here, this is your root word. So it says mara, or in English, right? Amar. All right, so let's find the this means to say. You can look up this word. So go to your blue letter Bible, right? Go to your blue letter Bible and go to the concordance inside the blue letter Bible on that one. And then type in here if you have a question, because I can help guide you through that piece. All right. Right. So you look it up and it means to say, right? So that's a good way to break down a word. Another common prefix is not here, but another one you'll see is ha. So when you see ha in front of a word, you know that means the, right? That's why people say, you'll hear sometimes people say Mashiach or Hamashiach, right? The Christ, right? Or just Mashiach, which is Christ, the anointed, right? So you might see Hamashiach. That's why people say that, because it means the Christ. Well, this prefix right here, wa, it means and. So again, since we're translating, it says and said, right? So we got the word and we got say, right? And we know what this is, right? Just because it's common. But of course, this you can look up too, right? If you want to. But we know this is Yahweh. That's the Most High's name, right? So now we got more pieces of the puzzle. And said Yahweh, right? So we're translating that. So what does this Yah mean, right? And the only way to get this is, you had to do a little studying. I got a little book that I studied from. If you don't have this book, you get it, kind of help you break down some of these pronouns in there, right? Right. So this is a prefix, and it's a pronoun, right? So this here, this Yah, when you see it, and you want to make sure that it's not part of a whole name and not just a prefix to a root word, right? But this is a pronoun and it refers to the subject. I got a whole damn diagram on here. You probably getting confused as hell, right? So this prefix, Yah, refers, right? We know it's a prefix. The reason we know it's a prefix, because there's a root word here. Only way you're going to know it's a root word is if you look it up in Hebrew, right? So you got to use either, I know a lot of brothers like to use the Mekam Mamre. I like to use the Blue Letter Bible. So you can look it up and you might see a root word here. And then once you identify the root word, well, then you're like, okay, these are prefixes. All right. And so this pronoun is referring to the subject. What's the subject? And Yahweh, right? So Yahweh would be the subject. Now let's flip back over to the English. The English says, and the Lord God said. So that's the translation. You got Wa means and. You got Yah is referring to the subject, right? This word Amar means to say, right? So in the context of translation, and the Lord God said, right? So that's a one way, or not one way, but that's how you translate it. So that's a simple one where we just take, two Hebrew words and we translate it what it says. So those two, this right here, where you Amar, right? Where you Amar Yahweh. That's how you would say it in the Hebrew. Where you Amar Yahweh. Where you Amar Yahweh. And the Lord said, right? And the Lord God said. All right, so we can get more, but I'm okay, yeah, let's get some more. All right, I'm gonna erase some of this. If I can find where I put my eraser. Select. All right, so let's take off all this directional stuff so you can actually see. All right. So again, this would be and what? This would be and said, right? And said, because this Amar means to say. Well, who said? Well, refer to the pronoun. This pronoun is referring to the subject. So Yahweh, and said Yahweh. What's the next word in in Hebrew? The next word is this. All right, the next word is Alahayim. What does Alahayim mean? All right, you might have heard in class the breakdown with any of the generals or captains or officers. Let's say Alahayim, Alahaya or Alahayim. Alahaya is singular. It means power. Alahayim means powers. Right. So we would translate it into God in English. Right. So it says, and said Yahweh God, or the Most High Power. That's how we don't use the Lord's name in vain. So we would say, and the Most High Power, right? Which Alahayim is powers, right? Let's see if we keep going. All right. So the next word in Hebrew is all right. So what's this next word? The next word is his next word is la asha, right? So this again, you got to kind of identify what's a root word and what's a prefix. So the only way to do that is either know it or to look it up. Well, I've looked it up, right? So this is a root word. So here, this prefix wa, right? You got wa right there. That means and. So here we got another prefix is la. You la a lot of in will translate into either onto, unto, right? Or to or unto, right? And so again, you can refer back to the scriptures in the English and it'll help you. It says, and the Most High God said unto the woman. All right, so now you kind of get a feeling for what this root word is right here, if you haven't looked it up already, right? That word asha is woman. Right? He said unto the woman, but in Hebrew, it looks like one word. So again, the only way you're going to know is if you just, you just study Hebrew and because you've seen the word before, right? Or you look it up. And then if you look it up, a lot of times you won't see the pronouns attached to it. You'll just see the root word. Well, that just lets you know that it is a root word, right? So Waya Amar, Yahweh, Alahayim, La Asha, right? So you can practice saying that, right? And then you can kind of understand what it's saying because we did the breakdown. So just say it to yourself, Waya Amar, Yahweh, Alahayim,
Lashawan. And the Lord said, right? Now, when we translate it, we do a direct translation, so it's not in the order, but it's still being translated all the same. And said Yahweh, God, unto woman, right? Or like they have it in the in the King James, and the Lord God said unto the woman, right? So that's a good start. Now these are simple words we breaking down. What I'm saying, we'll see if we can get something a little bit more complicated. But I don't know. Let me keep going. See what else I can break down in here. All right. All right. Some of these is gonna get a little complicated. So we're gonna move on to something, maybe another verse. So let's do that. But remember, when you have words, like I said, if you have a word and you don't know what it is, look it up in the Blue Letter Bible Dictionary or the Mekar Monterey, whatever whatever tool you use. There's several apps that you can go to the App Store or Google Play Store. You can download, and then it'll show you the English on one side and the Hebrew on the other side. And then the reason I like the Blue Letter Bible is because you can open up the interlinear concordance within it. So like you just click it, and then it open up, and then it'll tell you what this word means. Well, again, if you look it up, you will see Amar, which is Amara, right? You'll see Amar, and then it'll give you the definition. And you say Amar means to say. In this context means said, the Lord said, right? But then you might look at this first part and like, well, what is that? Right? Just remember, why on the beginning means and that's why in the translation it says, and the Lord said. And this is just a masculine pronoun, right, referring to the subject. So once you see this, you know that it's going to be a subject that who's saying, somebody has to be saying something. And that's what this is referring to. It's telling you that there's a subject, right? And I believe this is a masculine. If you look it up, it's a masculine pronoun. All right, so let me see if I can find another good example. I don't want to try to translate anything that's too, too super complicated, because one, I ain't the, foremost expert on it, and two, it's just easier to follow along when you got simple examples. So give me a second. I'm gonna look up another example of a simple translation that we can do. All right, here go a good one. All right, a good one right here. We're gonna get Genesis 8:15. Genesis 8:15. All right, so it says, let's get it in English real quick. It says, and God spake unto Noah, saying, that's all of 15 right there. And God spake unto Noah, saying, right? That's an easy verse that we can do. So we'll write it out in the Assyrian, and then we're gonna do the translation. All right. So my Assyrian Hebrew is kind of trash, but y'all gonna have to work with it. All right. So what we got here? We got Waya Debar, Alahayim, Al, Nak, Lamar. Right. So now, based on the last word that we broke down, right? We broke down Genesis 3:3. So now we're gonna break down Genesis. This is Genesis 8:15. And so if you remember last time, you got to look up the word because you don't know, because you don't know the word by heart. Actually, I know the word, so I know what it says. But if you don't know the word, the best thing to do is to look it up, right? So if you look this word up, it's going to show you that this is the root word. And then just like last time, we got wa. What does wa mean? Wa means and, right? So this is saying and. And so just like last time, we got a masculine pronoun, yeah. And that's just letting you know that it's a masculine subject that follows, right? So it's got to be saying and, this is the subject, but we'll get to that in a second. So if you look this up, what is this word telling you? I see a few people on. If somebody want to type it in, what is this word telling you? What does this word mean? The bar. Right? What does the bar mean? If somebody want to type it in, I'll give them a second to see. If you don't know how to use the Blue Letter Bible, type it in there and I can flip mine on the screen real quick and just break it down. All right. So I don't know if anybody got access to the computer, but is the bar means spoke or spake. Right? So again, we flipping back and forth to the English, right? And we see the English actually says spake. So we're gonna change it. It's the same thing, right? The Old English, right? And spake. Who spake? Well, let's find out. We know it's a masculine pronoun. We got the word that we had last time, Alahayim. What does Alahayim mean? You translate it as to God. It means power or powers, right? It's plural, powers. And God spake, right? And what's next? So we got those words. We got ow, right? We got ow, which means unto or to. And then this word should be this. You should know this one if you've been in class or you seen any brothers in the school. Knock, right? Knock. In English, that's Noah, right? So as you know, there's a brother in the school named Knock. His name means Noah, right? So again, we reading back and forth through Genesis 8:15. It says, and God spake unto Noah, right? That's the translation we got so far? 8:15. And God spake unto Noah. All right, so what did he do? Right? And the last part, this is this word, this is a root word here. So you can look this up too. Amar. right? Let me make sure I got that right. Waya Debar Alahayim Al Nak Lamar. Right, so that look good. So again, that's a short verse. Right. Oh, Salakia, this Amar again. We said it in the last translation. Amar is to say. In this translation, saying. Right. So, Waya Debar Alahayim Al Nak La Amar. Let me double check this. Hold on 1 second. I need that. Al. Make sure I got that translation right. All right. So that's the breakdown on that for Genesis 8 and 15. This one is unto or two. What was the English? Was it two or unto? Unto. All right. Let's see if we can break down another one. Give me a second. I'm gonna look up this. I'm gonna look up the next one. If there's any questions, let me know. Type them in there. All right, I got another one that it looked like it's pretty straightforward. I don't know about that one. Hold on a second. I think I got one. I think I got one. Let's do 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel 22:1. All right. So we got the Assyrian up. Let's see if we can break it down. All right. So we gotta again, you always want to start if you're breaking down, if you're trying to translate a sentence from English to Hebrew, you want to look it up. That's the first step, right? You want to look up the word and see if you can find, if it's a root word or those pronouns up there or, what's going on with it. So first thing I did was open up the interlinear concordance and in the Blue Letter Bible, right? And so you see this word here, Yalak, right? And Yalak, if you drill down, it means to go, to walk, to come, to move, to go away, depart, proceed. So we looked that up, and now it's starting to make a little sense because the scripture says departed, right? What's the other thing that we see here? We see Davudah, right? So we know that's David. I mean, I don't have to look that up. We got a brother in the school, his name is Davudah. You got the Da, the Y, and the Da, right? So I didn't have to look that one up, right? And then you got Mashum. So I looked that up. I'm buffering. Hold on one second. Come on, it's tripping. I'm buffering hard. All right, but try to look it up in your Blue Letter Bible. As soon as mine stop buffering, it'll come up. All right. So we got Davudah, we got Yalak, means to depart. And this word is actually going to take, look like it's not giving me that word directly. Hold on 1 second. Where you lock, that will die, mashum. It's not giving me that word to look up. That's interesting. So this one we're not going to be able to break down fully. Because I don't see the translation for the word. That's interesting. All right, but what I can do, so we had to skip this word because I'm not sure. I don't know about this one. All right, but the next word we see is waya malat, right? Waya malat. Let me just write that up here. Waya malat. Waya malat. All right, so now you look this one up. This does have the definition in there, and so when you look it up, that is the root word malat, malat, right? And it means to slip away, escape, deliver, save, be delivered. Now, what does the English say? The English says David therefore departed thence and escaped. Well, we know this word means to, one of the definitions was to escape, right? And we also see and we know since there's a root word there that this is the pronoun referring to the subject. What's the subject? David. David is the subject. Just like on the other word that we did, waya amar, waya debar, right? And the Lord said, and the Lord spake. Or, it's not always the Lord, it's, and that masculine pronoun, and someone spake. In this case, and he escaped, referring to David, right? So in Hebrew, you'll find a lot of pronouns. Now this one is not a pronoun. This is, these three, that's the root word, yalak. So what means and? The only problem I'm having with that translation, right? If you look at 1 Samuel 22:1, it doesn't start with and, but they have it there. So I guess you could say, and David therefore departed. Even though it's not in the English, it's still there in the Hebrew. But that was, again, that's gonna mean and. Right. But you don't see it in the English. It doesn't say English, but it's there nonetheless. Where you lock, dawuda, mashum. Waya malat. Right. So the only word that we couldn't get in this translation is this one. And for some reason, like I said, it's not showing that root word. It's not showing that definition, even when I look it up. So we're gonna have to skip that one. But for the most part, you can break it down, right? So really what's missing is if you read it in English, David therefore departed thence and escaped. Right. So we know, we could probably guess that this word, David departed. Yalak, David departed from, right, would probably be the translation. But again, there's it's not in there, so I'm not going to tell you that's what the direct translation is. But he had to depart from somewhere, right? So that would be my assumption. But again, don't take that and say, well, this means from, because I'm telling you, I don't know for sure. All right, so let's see if we can break down another one. But take away, definitely take away. Don't forget, words like this, waya, malat, right? Anything waya, the and, the pronoun referring to the subject, the root word. So always check for root words. You know what I mean? Root words. And then once you get the root word, it'll kind of help you figure out what the pronouns are saying. And you had to do a little bit of studying, right? You're not just going to know them off the top of your head. You do a little studying, you'll start remembering wa means and, ha means the. It's another one. I mean, there's a few more, obviously. I can't remember them all. Let's see if we get another one. If anybody has any words they want to look up, let me know. We can look up some words in Hebrew too. See if we can find a good one. Here go a good simple translation. We can do this one. Genesis 42 and 30. All right, this is a simple translation. I say simple, then I ain't gonna be able to find the damn word when I look it up. But anyway, right now it looks simple. Is that right? Genesis 42. Yeah, let's try this one. All right. So the first all right. So we in Genesis 42 and 30. And we got some words right here. First two words. First thing you should do is look it up, see if there's a root word or or are there pronouns attached, prefixes attached to it. And then from there you can start. So you look this up. This word is debar. Right? We got several brothers in the school with this as part of their name. So the bar, right? The bar, you can look it up, and you should be able to find this one in the Blue Letter Bible, or like I said, whatever tool you're using. You don't have to use the Blue Letter Bible, right? So the bar, when you look it up, we looked this up in one of them before. I don't, right? Means spake. Right, we just did that one. It means spake. So now, what we got here? All right, you look it up in your concordance in the Strongs, and come find out you have a root word here, right? Ayash. 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 So Ayash means man. This is the bar, means spake, right? The bar spake, Ayash man. So that leaves this right here, right? Since you got a root word, then you know that this is going to be a prefix. We had already went over what ha means. Ha means, and you can guess it if you go back and read the English. Ha means the. So now we're getting a little bit of the translation, right? It says in English, what does it say in English? It says, the man who is the Lord of the land spake roughly to us and took us for spies. So we know, right, you're not going to get, just like in Spanish, it's not going to be lined up like English when you translate it. It's not going to be, even sometimes a word for word translation. Sometimes, you get, what looks like one word in Hebrew and it'll cover, 3 words in English. But we got the man and we got spake. Now I just wanted to do that part. Let's see if I can try my luck with something else, right? How about Adunya? Let's see what that means. Adunya. Okay, I think I got this one. Hold up. Right, so it looks like this word right? When you look this up, it means Lord or Master. All right, so not like the Lord, not like Yahweh, but you go back and read the English, it says the man who is the Lord of the land or master of the land, right? Ada na ya, Adunya, right? I believe that's how you say that properly, right? So the man who was Lord or master of the land spake, right? So let's see if we translate another one, another part of that. What's the next word? All right, so the next word I know because it's common. It's in some of the prayers, right? You'll see it a lot too. Ha, ra, tazah. Oh, that's at the end of a letter or end of word, so I got to do it differently, right? That's the whole point. Remembering how to do those, ending ones. Right? Ha'aratazah. So that means land or earth, right? Land or earth. Right? So we got, again, same way in Spanish, all the words ain't gonna line up the same, and it ain't gonna flow like English flows, but the translation is there. Ayash mean ha ayash, right? The ha means the, ayash, the man, the bar spake, right? And it says in English, let me get in that verse. It says the man who is Lord of the land. So we got Lord or master over the land, Ha'aratazah, right? The bar, Ha'ayash, Adaya, Ha'aratazah. So that's let's see if we get some more. All right. So the next word is Athunwa. Oh, Salakia. Is that Nathan? Hold on 1 second. See if we can get it. All right, we're gonna come back to that word because I think I know that word, but we'll come back to it. Let's see. Quashawath. Okay, so we got another word that we can translate. All right, so if you're looking it up in Hebrew, you're gonna see this word right here that I'm about to write. All right, so the qua, that looks like a unfinished R. Qua, sha, wa, the. Right? So that'll be quash, quash, no, Salakia. Quashworth. I believe if it was written down in ancient, it would look like this. Of course, you don't connect Assyrian, but just for pronunciation, I think so. I'm not 100% sure on the pronunciation, but you got the qua, the sha, the wa, and the th. So I believe you would pronounce it Quash, so like Quashwath. No, that don't sound right. I'm not sure the pronunciation, but anyway, the translation, the word means roughly, right, or harshly, or cruel, right? So um, hard, cruel, um, severe, hard, difficult, fierce. So now we get into what he's saying. So you flip back over to the English. It says the man who is Lord of the land spake roughly or hard or cruel, right? So again, I'm a little jammed up on how to pronounce it. Quashawath, Quashawath, right? So I believe that's how. So you got the bar, Hayash, um, Adyan, Adunya, Haratazah, Quashawath, Quashawath. Yep, that's it, Quashawath. All right. Now we skipped the word. The word that I skipped was a, a thunwa. So that's the one that I'm not sure, but I think I have it here, and it means to give, put, or set. So I'm trying to find where that goes in the translation. So again, we'll probably have to come back to that one because I'm not sure where it goes in the translation now. But I'm gonna see. Let's see if we get another word. Waya thun. I got this one too. Waya thun. Waya thun. All right, so I'm gonna have to get rid of some of this. If anybody following along, I don't know. We got 3 people on. Maybe I wrote those words down. It's good to write those words down because then you can go back, you can look them up, reference them later if you need to. All right. You got what? That's a jacked up what. I told y'all my Assyrian is pretty bad. All right, so this is where your thumb, right? And so that definition and took, right? So this would be the root word. This is a wa. That means and. Right? And if I'm not mistaken, that's a prefix referring to us, right? Took. And so when you go back and read the English, it says, and took us for spies, right? So let's see, probably the next word is going to be spies. So let's look that up. All right, so we got oh, all right. I'm not gonna be able to do this whole one because I see they got some extra prefixes and suffixes on here that I'm not, you know what I'm saying, I'm not gonna be able to break it down because I don't know them, but we can get the root word. All right. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 characters. All right. So we got a root word in here. Again, when you looking up the definition of the word, especially in the Blue Letter Bible, it's gonna give you the root word anyway, and it's gonna give you prefixes and suffixes. And like I said, just through experience, you're gonna have to learn and see, what those prefixes and suffixes are saying. For this one is a little bit more complicated than what I can do, but there is part of it that I can't break down. So we'll get at least the part that I know. So regal, right? Regal. So this part right here, regala, regal, is a root word, right? Regal, that means spies. No, so yeah, like so there's multiple definitions. It's used in these ways, right? To go on foot, spy out, footed, go about, walk along. So think about it in the context of Hebrew when there's no direct translation for spies, but when you say go on foot or like go check it out. So like that's like with somebody that would be spying. It's like a advanced party. You know what I'm saying? They going and they're scouting. So that's what that word means, right? And so it also says to go about as an explorer, spy, to slander, to be a talebearer. So there's various ways that you can use it, but this word would be spy, right? Now I do know this suffix, right? When you say ak, you're talking about one brother, right? Ak means one. When you say akyum, what are you saying? You're saying multiple brothers, right? So the yum, that's what this is. Ya and the ma, that's gonna be yum. That's a suffix. So you add the suffix yum onto something, then that spy turns into spies. It's plural, right? It says the man who was Lord of the land took us for spies and spoke roughly to us, right? So we broke down most of that. Now these, hold on one second. I might have another piece. Hold up. No, I don't have that. So this is a k and a m. I'm not sure what that prefix means. So that one I'm not sure of. It says the man who is the Lord of the land spake roughly to us and took us for spies of the country. All right. That one I don't know. So that would be come, and I don't know what that prefix means. So that's something that I could look up or ask, maybe ask a brother who knows more Hebrew than myself, questions. I see we got somebody online. Is that a question? No sweat. All right, so that's another. Now the last piece that we don't got is country. So I'm sure this last one, if we looked it up, let's see. Right. So the last word is Ha'aratazah, which we already covered. So again, that means land, earth, or in this context, it would mean country. Right. So I mean, we got most of that. We broke down most of that. Uh, we broke down most of that right there. Yeah, I think we missed this prefix. We missed one word that I wasn't sure, but for the most part, we broke down that whole thing in Hebrew. And I mean, some of it could get a little complicated because you don't know all the suffixes and all the prefixes. But once you start learning those pieces and you can get the root words and look them up, then you're able to break down whole sentences. So, all right, let's see if we can find another easy one, right? Something that's easy. We do another quick translation breakdown. All right, let's try one more. 2 Samuel 14 and 24. 2 Samuel 14 and 24. All right, see if we can break down the first part of this. We won't have time to break down the whole sentence because we coming up on the time. But we can break down a good part of it for sure. What did I say in English? 2 Samuel 14 and 24. Okay, cool. All right. All right, this word is gonna look familiar to you, right? This should look familiar. Man, I always jack up that Y. I never the first time do it right. All right, so let's just break down these first couple words. All right, so like I said, this one will be real familiar because we broke this down a couple times, right? What do we have here? We got Waya Amar. Salakia for my in Assyrian. I know it's terrible, but that's a right? So that would be again, right? Would be Amar. You got the the Ma, and the Ra. And the only reason that I'm not looking it up because we didn't already translate it 2 or 3 times today, right? So this would be the root word. And again, we got wa again, and it means and. So the word would be and, right? Amar, right, said in this translation, to say, right? But in English, because of the tense, it's saying said. And so that part would be our prefix pronoun is referring to a subject, right? And so what's the next word, right? So this word, again, this is another word that I knew, but if I didn't know it, I just look it up, and then it would tell me that this is the root word there. So again, every time you're looking up a word in Hebrew that you're not sure about, look and see if there's a root word, and then if there's a root word, then the other letters that's with it, those are going to be either prefixes or suffixes. And then as you study more and practice more, you're going to learn what prefixes, like you probably learned two tonight, wa and huh, and the. And then we also talked about the suffix yum, right? Just like ak and akyum, right? So we got and somebody said, right? We know it's referring to, that pronoun, prefix pronoun is referring to somebody. So what does this mean, right? Malak, right? We got brothers in the school with that either part of their name or their name, Malak. So Malak is king, right? You probably knew that if you're following along because it says and the king, right? So what's the huh? The huh means the, right? We talked about that too. So again, pay attention and see if you can remember some of these prefixes, because when you read a word, you say, why you Amar? Oh, and the Lord said, or he said, or the king and the king said. So what is the translation in English saying? 2 Samuel 14:24, and the king said, right? So that's literally, what we translated. It's not, again, in the same order as it is, but it's the translation nonetheless. So let's see. See if we grab one more word, then we're going to cut it. All right. Hold on 1 second. See what the next word is. Sa. So sa, yasab. Yasab. The next word in Hebrew is yasab. Let's see if we can find that. See, sometimes it doesn't give you all those words. You got to do a little bit more studying to see if you can find it, because I'm looking in the Blue Letter Bible and I don't see the yasab. Yasaba. Yasab. Okay. Well, it seemed like a good stopping point because I don't see that word yasab. But the next word, Bayatwa. See, we got that word. Bayat means house, right? So we got different parts. We could probably get this one, like if we had more time, we could break down and translate it and probably get 90%, 85%, 90% of what he's saying. Because I see the word house in here. You could return, saw, king, right? So, but anyway, if you want to practice, practice your Hebrew, breaking down sentences is a good way to do it, because it forces you to look up words, right? And then after you look up the words, you have to identify what's the root words. And then if you got root words, then it's like, okay, what part of it is, what's the prefixes and what's the suffixes mean? And as you, practice it more, ask more questions, and, watch Hebrew classes, you'll start learning some of those prefixes and suffixes. And then, you'll be able to read in Hebrew Like just by doing that, like you go to Sabbath service, if you're an officer in the school, you go to, or even troopers, you know, depending on who's teaching, and the school troopers can come up and read Hebrew too. But you know, you'll get up there and start reading, and then you'll know what some of these words are saying, and it'll just make more sense. It makes it easier to read the Hebrew because you kind of understand what some of these words are saying. So anyway, that's pretty much it on the translations. I would definitely highly encourage everybody to practice more. You know, get you a Hebrew book, right? Get you a Blue Letter Bible. Go to the school website. There's some resources on the school's website too to help with the Hebrew class. You got twoletterlookup.com. That's a good way to look up Hebrew words, right? Your Blue Letter Bible is really good to help because it has the inter concordance. You can literally look up a word in English or a word in Hebrew, and it'll tell you what it means in English, right? So there's a few tools out there so you could get better at your Hebrew, right? So we're gonna end the class right there. I'm gonna get these prayers real quick. All right. I.S.U.P.K security announcements. The I.S.U.P.K started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18 and 21, Malachi 3 and 8 through 10 means tenth in the Hebrew Ma'ashur. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for a priest, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations is the Feast of Dedication, December 9th. Make sure you get with your nearest school, man, because it's going to be going down. Brothers always teach heavy classes about the Feast of Dedication. It's an amazing story about how, Israel, we stood up against oppression and fought back our oppressors, to reclaim our temple and dedicated it again to the Lord. So come and participate in that for sure. That's part of your heritage, part of your culture. All right. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black boots, shirt, pant, headband, scarf. With that, I imagine, which means to rise or stand. Upanya Hakudam means turn and face the east. We're going to do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Qadash, Shimka, Yahweh, Malakwaka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Haya, Aisha, Baratazar, Kawa, Haya, Bashamayim, Nathan Lanawa, Lakam, Ka, Yawam, Wasalakanawa, Kabawat Wanawa, Kasalakanawa, Kabawat Wanawa, Wala'a, Tabayaranawa, Bunasai one, Abal, Hawashawanawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala, Watapara, Wa'awalonium, Aman. Lord's Prayer in English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. So be it. Prayer for the Hakat, the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Baba Nathan Lanawa, Hakat, Larapa'a, Kal Makala, Wakal Marawa, Hakat, Latahar, Hamatazarayim, Hakat, Lahaku, Hamathim, Hakat, Al Rakawath, Hatama Allah, Lagar Bahashim Yahushai, the water Aman. Do the prayer for the power in English. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahushai, thank you. So be it. The prayer for the blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh, Wa Yahushai, Wa Mayak Allah, Wa Alahayim, Matazabiyah, Alawap Yohanna, Ha Alawapim, Ha Sarunyam, Ha Quatazayanyam, Ha Kayayanyam, Waha Aquathian, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, the water Aman. In the English, bless you Yahweh, and Yahushai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yohanna, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, thank you. So be it. The anointing prayer in the Hebrew. Yabaraka Yahweh, Washamarka, Ya'ar Yahweh, Panyawa, Alyaka, Wayakanka, Yasha'a Yahweh, Panyawa, Alyaka, Wayashamlaka, Shalom, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Barak, Rapah, Magun, Hagun, all of the destroyed of Israel. Bahashim Yahweh Shai, the water Aman. In the English, Yahweh bless thee and keep thee. Yahweh make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yahweh lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless, heal, shield, protect. I.S.U.P.K curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites and the nations and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Posse Comitazi, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space programs, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street. Open up the internet and the airways, the cable access channels, and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahushai, Michael, and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all. That is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media, throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you always. So be it. Sar, which means to turn. Courtesy salute, Mini Israel, Madam Shabbat, Imajim, Barak, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Barakathon. Yajmatai, class dismissed.